Semantic SEO có thể là phương pháp sẽ thay đổi tư duy về SEO của bạn. Chủ đề này thì mình đã có làm một video chia sẻ và các bạn có thể tìm và xem lại video mình đã làm. Khách mời trong tập talk show lần này đó là một chuyên gia về Semantic SEO. Anh ấy có khá là nhiều bài viết chia sẻ về Semantic khá viral trên các social. Bây giờ thì intro. Hello friend, nice to meet you. I will introduce myself. My name is Thiên and I come to Vietnam.
My name is Hamid.
Nice to meet you, Hamid. And today I want to invite you join my video, and I want to talk about semantic SEO topic, and I want to add some question for you. So I want to make this video for everybody want to research SEO in Vietnam. Okay, now could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you for inviting me. Yeah. And my name is Muhammad Hamid Khan, and I've started SEO back in 2015. And by the way, I'm living in Lahore, Pakistan, a city famous for its Qawwali music. And I've started working in back in 2015, and I've worked with many companies, big e-commerce brands like Hire, some SaaS companies like Mailmunch, and help them achieving their growth numbers. And now I'm working with some high-ticket semantic SEO website owners and helping them growing their building their topical authority states for their websites by building topical maps, semantic briefs, and so on and so forth. So this is what I'm doing, and I also do consultancy stuff, and I still learning new things on a daily basis, like semantic SEO, like how search engine works, search engine behaviors, and linguistic stuff, NLPs. So I'm really happy what I'm doing, and that's about me.
Okay, thank you. Now I will ask you first question. What is semantic SEO? And do you think about semantic SEO will be to the trend in the future?
Semantic SEO is, you can say, is a process of creating a well-organized content network on your website in the form or in the way how Google wanted to looking at. I mean, what Google want to see, you do all the work already on your website in the form of very structured and organized way. So what you do, semantic SEO is basically focus on meanings or topics instead of words. So it's not, I mean, as compared to traditional SEO, it's not about copying the top SERP or competitors and just see what the top 2 or top 3 are doing and increasing more word count than that, adding more keyword, and you just say that you will rank. It's not about that. Semantic SEO is about reinventing the wheel in that particular niche or industry in which you're working on, that no one could ever think about that. So you basically help Google understand your website in a very easy to understand language by spending less cost, which is the biggest risk and you can say challenge of Google, and less cost and less time, and providing more accurate, relevant information within a particular subject by connecting all the entities, their attributes, connecting terms, context that your users are searching on Google. So what users searching, that we call query semantics, and that's another a long debate about searching what your users are searching on Google. So that's, if we define semantic SEO, that's what we do in semantic SEO.
Okay, thank you. And next question. What is difference between traditional SEO and semantic SEO? Yeah.
So just what I said in my last sentence, that traditional SEO is just, I mean, people have called, I mean, made some list of practices or checks. They just follow those checks and they think that they should be now ranking, I mean, on top on their specific search query or target query. But it's not like that. I mean, they focus on a one phrase, one keyword user is searching, and that should have volume, that should have their prominent entity or relevant entity, and they just create pages on the keywords. I mean, they do not think how Google is behaving or working with the keywords. So first of all, in traditional SEO, let me finish traditional SEO. The people have standard practices. I mean, standard in terms of traditional. So they try to say that use LSC keywords in your content, use following phrases in your H2s, in your H1 title, and summaries, and just trivial rank, and hitting a specific amount of word count. For example, if top 10 pages have covered on average 5,000 words, so you go, maybe some people say 10% more than what the average of the top 10. And some people also try to manipulate keyword density. I mean, they say that your primary keyword should be used 2 to 5%, or you can say after one time after every 100 words. And they also say that they do not focus on meanings, and they just focus on phrases that are coming from third-party tools. Okay, so now in semantic SEO, the picture is totally opposite. I mean, you can say we focus on topics. We focus on basically what we have to see how Google processes the queries that users are searching. First, we have to understand that. For example, if a user is searching for best fruits for weight loss, so Google let me expand a query a bit. Best fruit for weight loss under 18 years old. So now we can say that if I'm a traditional SEO guy, and I'll just pick up this phrase because most of people searched in United States, for example, in the last month, you can say over month. So I just optimize this phrase on my website, and I'll not think about the parent topic of this phrase, right? So Google actually processes information, the queries, in a very representative way, because Google has, maybe you can say, ton of queries searching, trillion queries searching on a day. So Google has to cluster those queries in the form of topics, and Google works on the clusters, not individual queries. So we have to adopt the same strategy. We have to think queries from a very clustered approach, very topical approach, and then we have to understand the search behavior. I mean, why someone searching this query might be searching that query, the related search activity, which is called frame semantics, you can say, right? So we focus on meanings and the intent of queries from search engine perspective, and we try to invent the things. I mean, not, for example, some people just copy the people also ask section, and they use all of the 30-40 questions in their content. They say that we have optimized all the relevant context and attributes, and it's not like stuffing entities. It's about connecting information in the very meaningful way and connecting your content with the search intent. So, and importantly, if I simply connect the chain, you will, maybe the audience who's watching will definitely love it. We have to basically connect the search intent with our content. We have to cover all the aspects of the queries in our content, and then through our content we have to convert the content with our source context. So this is the chain we have to follow. Yeah.
Okay, next question. What's a topical authority?
Yeah, topical authority is, you can say, right now very creating some buzz in the market, and it should be, because a lot of people are, they're still struggling to know what it actually means, and basically how they could benefit from it for their website. So if I say if I'm explaining this concept to a very 5 years old, I will try to make it very simpler, not very technical. So like using Google patents language or search engines algorithms language, not like that. So I'm trying to convey it in very simple words. Topical authority is basically, first of all, you have to cover, like if you're operating in a specific knowledge domain, or you can say a subject like fruits, okay? So you cover, the topics related to the fruits, all the entities within the subject, and how you cover those topics. You find their attributes and you group them with their attributes, right? like fruit benefit, fruit names, fruit best fruit for X, best fruit for Y, fruit recipes, etc., etc., best fruit for this disease, and fruit history, fruit colors, for example, fruit types. So what you do, you find the attributes of the specific entity that you want to cover, okay, and you do coverage on your website. First of all, first you are finding data based on the attributes. You cluster those entities based on their attributes, and now you do some predictions. That's we call query format, query templates, or modifiers. So we have to see that, for example, if our source context is about selling fruits, take it an example. So the most important query template could be for us best fruits for X, and now we have to expand, or you can say put the values in the X, because our source context, in simple words, our business model is about this specific attribute. Best is the attribute, fruit is the entity, for X is basically, you can say, the modifier, right? Or you can say the signifier. So we have to predict what could come in the X, and we have to do the predictions, and then if we complete the list like 200 of the modifiers, or you can say the query templates, one query template but with all the values, then we connect those with the search queries. In the first place, we do the subject related activities, and then we get all the queries around within our subject, and then we try to connect our research with the queries and tie our research with the user's search intent. Like, if, for example, if we have created like 500 topics, but only 300 are being searched and 200 no one is searching, there is no intent, there is no demand. So you're not going to spend time and effort or cost on those pages. Now you have to understand queries, how Google is grouping or clustering queries. Like, not every query demand another page, right? So you have to understand the canonical queries concept. Which queries needs to be grouped together, and which queries, and for example, not every query people search, and which means that entity could be changed as well, right? So attribute could remain same, entity could also be changed. Google, if maybe someone searching for synonym, not the exact entity or not exact attribute in your phrase. So you have to think from the whole context, not from one word. So you cover the entities, subjects within a subject according to the attributes, and connecting with the search queries that users are searching, the search behaviors actually, and then you cover on your website. So once you got the coverage, next thing is to connect that coverage with your source context, and that you do by prioritizing the attributes. For example, I said, if you're selling fruits, you'll prioritize best topics first, okay? So you do the prioritization based on the prominence, based on the relevance, based on the popularity. Relevance means if attribute more relevant with your source context, business model. Prominence, if an entity couldn't exist if you exclude the attribute from that entity. If you exclude, for example, engine from car couldn't exist. So engine is the prominent attribute of car. So you have to cover prominent attribute as well, just to make sure you got the good coverage and classify yourself with the top authority websites, okay? Then popularity is simply the search demand, you can say the TAM, total addressable market in simple words, or the demand of that specific attribute, not just one query, all the attribute. It could have multiple queries. And once you got the coverage in the way you want by prioritizing attributes, you need now historical data, and historical data is required to justify the coverage. Because if you cover 1,000 pages and you're not getting, you are failing to getting even 1,000 traffic, which means there's no quality in your content. Google needs some user signal as well to make some decision, to do some predictive ranking, to increase the quality thresholds for your website against a specific type of query network. So now historical data, you need only historical data, and that mostly happens. The topical authority state, first of all, you get some impressions, clicks, rankings. Maybe if you're ranking on 70th position on Google, that's also called an historical data. Historical data is not about when a website is live. It's about how much data it has. If a website 10-year-old having just 1,000 traffic over the time, but website with just 2 months old have 20,000 clicks, for example, it has more historical data. And then you need historical data to validate your topical coverage. And if you get both and multiply with each other, you get the topical authority state, which mostly happens after core algorithm updates. Like you can see websites getting totally deranked, websites getting a lot new website coming in a specific subject, and that SERP changes over the time. You cannot say that if you rank and you just, but some websites are there like Healthline. But yeah, so topical coverage multiplied with historical data gives you topical authority. And next thing is how to measure topical authority. Just some people are confused about it. In simply, you say that how much percentage of traffic your website is getting, or any website is getting, against a specific topic. For example, if topic is coffee, or topic is, let's suppose, golf, and there are like 50 lakh queries in golf, just to take it an example. So if website A is getting 30% or 40% traffic on golf more than anyone else, which means A website is topical authority on golf. So this is the simplest way to measure topical authority, to measure the traffic share of a website in a specific topic. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about relevant EEAT and Topical Authority?
Yeah. EEAT, basically, you can say all content shouldn't be like always optimized. Not only optimized for machines, and forgetting about the helpful factor. If users' intent is not fulfilling, but you are giving very factual information, but not relevant information, or not something that they could benefit from it after, or you are not getting them with some resolution, or in simple words, you are not giving your real or first-hand experience, you are not creating original content, but creating content helpful for machines, but not creating content original for the users. So EEAT really, it's coming from quality data guidelines. Some people who are manual humans, they manually review websites, and they rate because they cannot review or rate every website out there, right? So they set some criteria and quality threshold, and then they apply and they update their algorithms according to that. So EEAT is basically giving first-hand experience and with some opinions, and using first-hand pronouns like we, like I. It means you have physically gone through the problem which user is facing. So basically, this is how you signal Google EEAT. And if your content is definitely helpful, user will also give some historical data, good quality signals, and then coupled with your topical coverage, good historical data. It's a win-win situation.
Next question. What's a semantic content network?
Semantic content network is just what I mentioned, topical coverage. In simple words, you can say interconnected topics in the form of documents or pages, and how they're connecting, it's very important based on the attributes or based on the query paths. Query path I'll explain after a bit, and how they are giving a complete signal or showing you as an expert in a specific subject. Maybe for the user, maybe you are getting some authority from user point of view, or you're getting some authority from search engine point of view. At the same time, you could get both if you do some smart work. So what you said, semantic content network is basically covering or connecting contents or contexts based on how users are searching information, plus how how Google wanted to see information. Google has databases, knowledge bases. So Google want to connect search intent, the queries which users are searching with the semantic web, which the source is Google already crawled. For example, the documents, the inverted index. So you do the already organized, you do already the hard work for machines, and they could easily connect with the queries. This is the main purpose of semantic content network. And it could have a topical map, it could have, in the process methodologies, you create semantic briefs, you do content, and you connect content in a structured, organized way by focusing on meanings, by providing factual information, by connecting term, by connecting context, by connecting entities, by prioritizing information, by following query templates. Like if your website is about, for example, you're selling camera, right? So DHL camera, for example. So you will not, first focus on DHL camera history, DHL camera, for example, you can say about material. You probably have to cover about DHL camera reviews. This is the query template you have to follow first. This is how you prioritize information, and you prioritize information and you pick some momentum. You publish this query template in one go. You will not do two reviews first, two reviews, DHL camera reviews, and 3 pages on best DHL camera for X, and 1 template for DHL camera history. You will not confuse Google. What you do, you pick a specific attribute and query template. You pick some momentum. You go in depth. Whether you go vast, it depends on your goal. If you want to get some historical data, you go vast. If you go into depth, if you want to get some related traffic related to your source contact traffic, you go in depth. So reviews, if I'm covering, which means I'm going in depth in one attribute. So this is how, with some momentum, with some depth, based on your goal, you prioritize your attributes, you pick a specific query template, you organize information in the way how users are searching and connecting the information based on the search journey of the users, the query path. For example, if user searching query A and then searching B, then searching C, this is the path of the query. So you connect the documents of your pages in the same way. Like if you have page A on query A, if you page B on query B, so you connect those pages in the same way how users are searching information. And like on average, if users search 7 queries in order to get something he want. Ultimately, for example, purchasing a product, or this search 7 queries on average, which actually quoted by Google. So this is how you prioritize your efforts based on the users, based on your business model, and also keeping search engines in mind. And you connect all the information and publish with some momentum, like 20 pages at once. So this is the main crux or purpose of Semantic Content Network.
Okay, thank you. What is Topical Map?
Topical Map, if we Topical Map, the topical coverage you do, basically you have to create a very holistic and very researched map based on the attributes, based on the verbs, for example, based on the users' patterns, how users searching information. Patterns means, what they mostly use, like verses, like if they're searching for comparison, if they're searching for, modifier, like for, this is the use case maybe. So you do all the research under your subject, and you gather all the information in the form of queries, in the form of query templates. Some work you do, some work you do in the form of predictions, like matching patterns, and some work you connect those with queries. And topical map is basically, it's not about concepts, it's not about keywords, or it's not about simply, you can say, phrases that you target. It's about, thinking about a topic from search engine perspective, from which actually coming from user behavior, and you connect those pages. In the processed form, you basically reflect your central search intent, which is the core purpose of your topical map. And what is basically central search intent is what type of traffic you want for your topical map, and all the, from start to finish, all the verbs user searching. For example, if user want to purchase a chair, user first searching maybe what is a chair, it's like defining, then user searching maybe exploring, then he might be reviewing, he might be exploring, he might be comparing, he might then buying or purchasing. These verbs are actually changing from stage to stage, and the outcome is same, which is chair. So what you do, central search intent is connecting all the covering all the search behavior into and reflect them in a topical map. And based on the central search intent, you prioritize your topics based on their attributes. Again, that same thing that I mentioned, and you cover then in topical map, you basically give a prioritization, again what I mentioned, and give a momentum publication date with the some macro semantics components like their titles, like their for example description, meta description, some h1, so not h1, sorry, image alt tags, image URL. This is how a one topical map includes.
Okay, thank you so much. I will edit video and re-up video on my channel.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was very quick and nice conversation, and I hope audience have enjoyed it. And if they have some question, feel free to fire them in the comments. It's a very, very concept, very complex concept, because they're coming from search engines language, engineers language. So we have to make them very simpler, but not forget their complexity, because if we forget their complexity, we will not do what semantic SEO means. So yeah, in the start, it will take some time. You have to understand maybe from top to bottom approach. You have to learn multiple resources, holistic SEO digital. You have to learn even some linguistic stuff first, NLP stuff, how natural language, the human language is connecting with machine, and how a machine is understanding that language. You have to understand that as well. And also some Google patents stuff, like you can say information retrieval, which is a very core concept. For example, like information extraction, that comes in information retrieval. Some basically query parsing, how Google actually parse queries into components and do entailments, do expansion. Google how rewrite query, Google how you can say expand query, Google how do question generation. Because if you put some heading in your question, in your page, in a document, Google automatically convert heading into questions to make information more relevant in the SERP for users. So yeah, these all things are very complex, but when they tie together, if you find the way how to connect all the concepts together, and you basically these concepts, they together form methodologies form processes form systems, frameworks, and framework to drive results. This is the chain you have to follow. And good luck for your learning journey.
Yeah, thank you so much for your sharing, and I hope in the future we will work together. Okay, thank you, bye.